Welcome to our brand new podcast series, Buckets and Besties.
Yeah.
Your go-to podcast for all things WNBA and beyond the court. My name is Katia, and this is my co-host, Megan.
We're besties and we love the WNBA. Join us each week as we break down the highlights, hot takes, and tunnel fits. All right, besties, it's time to clock into your courtside chat. Remember, subscribe, like, and comment on all our social media channels. This week, for our first episode only, we're going to do a scouting report. What's that? We're going to break down our player profiles. So here's Katia to start off.
I'm a filmmaker from Newark, New Jersey. I recently started watching a lot of WNBA games. I would say in the last 5 years, I really started watching college basketball and following the players into the league. I'm kind of a newer fan to the W, even though I used to watch things as a kid, like with Lisa Leslie and all that stuff. But now I love the game. I love just being a part of the athleticism that these women are doing and how they're changing the league. And it's honestly more interesting to me than the NBA. I never really watched the MNBA. Yes, that is rage bait for sure. I've never really watched MNBA as much. When I watch the W, I feel like you learn the game, you learn plays, you just all around find a love and joy for basketball. And I think it's just a fun hobby to pick up, to play and have fun. But also, I'm so excited to create this podcast with Megan so we can give all of our coolest hot takes and why we love the game so much. It's going to be a blast.
I'm Megan. Grew up playing sports, always been like passionate about sports, around sports, still love them. I grew up with two brothers. I probably can talk sports better than the both of them, or could always talk better sports more than the two of them. You could even ask my mom. She's like, I just always had that, like, the knack for sports. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to be in broadcasting, but I was shy, believe it or not. So as I've come into my own, like, I feel like this is like the perfect time to start something. And becoming friends with Katia, I was like, wow, this is like the perfect partnership. Like, you have all the production side, all like television knowledge. I love sports, kind of know more the stats and all that. And you could ask all my friends too. Like, whenever I meet someone, like, I'm like, hey, did you watch the women's basketball game the other day? Did you watch the soccer game? I have two nieces, so I'm like always like, hey, did you watch AZ the other day? Or did you see Caitlin Clark's shot the other day? So just always have been passionate about sports. I work in fitness full time, but I love being active. And obviously that involves being in sports too. And that keeps everyone active. Strong proponent that kids should be in sports. It keeps them out of trouble as well. I'm just excited to be here. I think this is going to be fun, and why not talk on a platform when we talk about it separately through text and on TikToks and send Instagram reels to each other. But yeah, long story short, like, this was on my list of one of the things I wanted to do in 2026, and here we go. Like, I'm excited for you guys to join us, and hopefully, stay with us for the ride, and as we get better and learn and grow, and let's see where it goes.
That gives very press conference after the game. You killed that.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, excited. I think we're both excited to be here, and I think it'll be a learning curve for both of us. So I'm a talker and tend to ramble, so hopefully I'll reel it in, but that just means I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, and I know Katia is passionate as well for this. So yeah, I just love sports in general. I'm loving that the WNBA is skyrocketing, taking off, and hopefully everyone keeps investing in it and watching and talking about it, because it deserves all the spotlight it's getting right now. So let's do this. Each week, we're going to break it down into about 5 or 6 segments. The first segment we're going to do is called the Bestie Breakdown, or the Tip Off, as we like to call it. And we're just going to talk about stories that each of us is personal to us or we like this week. So off the bat, I know Katia, she's not wearing her AZ Fudge shirt, but I know she wants to talk about the Wings game the other night where they came back against the Aces. So I'll throw it over to you right now.
Thank you for tapping me in, Coach. Okay, so we saw Dallas play against the Las Vegas Aces, and I was interested to see how this game was going to go. Like, we know the Aces lost to Dallas in the preseason game, but I guess people don't really take preseason that seriously. I mean, it's kind of like feeling the teams out. We knew that Dallas was struggling a bit a few games ago, and I wasn't sure if they were going to win this game or not, because the Aces are really a tough team. I mean, you have the point guard, Chelsea Gray. You have Jackie Young, even Alyssa Smith. You have, of course, Asia Wilson. She's a dog. I was honestly just praying for the best. The Dallas Wings have worked on their defense tremendously in the last couple of games that they had. Well, we know for a fact that their roster is stacked. There are a bunch of point guards on that team, which, when the whole roster was announced for this season, everyone was kind of like, are you sure about that? But all in all, it kind of worked out. And speaking of, AZ Fudd was starting. She debuted with 22 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Insane. Of course, career high, but I'm sure she'll do more down the line. She was able to get to her spots, her mid-range jumper, her quick release that everyone talks about. And honestly, I think just seeing AZ on the defensive side was eye-opening for me. I don't think we've ever gotten to see AZ defend like that. She really kind of she's kind of a shifty defender, if you ask me. So it was exciting to see her show her skills. She's way more than a three-point shooter. Very exciting to see her just get in there, not just taking threes. She was in the paint, getting out of the hoop, getting out of the basket. So that was very fun to watch. We cannot talk about the Dallas Wings without talking about Jessica Shepard. Holy crap. This was her second triple-double. I mean, when I say bucket after bucket after bucket.
That game, I think it just displayed the extraordinary play of the guards of the Wings. I think everyone obviously is concerned about size and how the Wings would match up against other teams that are bigger, right? But you can see the chemistry between Arike, Paige, and AZ, just how they can find each other. And especially I noticed really how Shepard and AZ kind of connect too as well. Mm-hmm. And Jessica's vision on the court, I think, is unbelievable for I would say she's more of a forward than a true center. And I texted this to Katia the other day, just how I think Minnesota underutilized her, or she didn't quite have as much of an opportunity to have the spotlight as Alana. She was always starting. And I think what's awesome about just the expansion of the league is now Jess is starting, so she gets playing time, she gets all the minutes, and you're seeing her talent, her hustle, her grit, which that's gonna win you games in the end. When that's gonna win you games in the end, and that's so important to someone that has a big heart and is gonna out hustle everyone.
She played 38 minutes, 22 points, 20 rebounds, aces. Come on. 10
I was spot on there, right?
Yeah. She shot 61.5% from the field, and then 100% of her free throws. I mean, come on.
They were in the group for sure. And I think the Wings is such an improvement, obviously, from last year. Their record already, they had 9 wins all of last year. So they're already pretty much halfway there to beating their win record from last year. And I think also, that game was unbelievable. But I think moving on, I think one of the stories we're going to talk about, and this is probably be talked about for this whole week, is just the Portland Fire game versus Indiana Fever, the exchange between Caitlin Clark and Steph White on the bench, and Stephanie White on the bench, and just how Portland just dominated, pure domination against the Fever. And I'll say I think there was some things exposed on Indiana. For example, I think just defensively, especially, I know I'm wearing a Caitlin Clark shirt, but I think, you can see it defensively, she struggles. And I think I believe in this press conference, she did say she has to work on that. So you see that a little bit with that. I still see Aaliyah Boston dominating. I think their connection is always great, the two of them. And I think they have to capitalize on their pick and roll and just find each other in the court. But yeah, there was just, there's something going on with that team in the background, in the locker room, not as much cohesion as last postseason when everyone was injured and they were still winning and they were finding ways to win. You're seeing now there's a little bit of a rift, a little bit of a divide right now, even between the players a bit. And, you saw Mitchell say something to Caitlin Clark on the bench. So you see someone that's usually a quieter player speak up as well.
Yeah, it's kind of not clicking for their team this season, but we'll see what adjustments they make and to see how the Fever moves forward.
Yeah, and then there's some other games that went on over the weekend that we wanted to just really quickly touch upon. So with the tempo, I've been pay attention to like just a duo of Mabry and Sykes. Like they have like the sky is the limit. I think for them, like I think last week there was a game where they had like a combined 80 points. This game was a little bit more well-rounded with Kiki Rice getting into the contributing as well. Like there was, I believe there was 53 points between the three of them. So that dynamic, I just am loving the expansion teams. It's obviously giving a lot of, we'll touch on it in the end of the segment, but it's just giving international players opportunity. It's giving like 6 players the opportunity that were on the bench a lot, and now they're starters and they're shining. It's just like a really fun time in the league right now.
I feel like Marina Mabry fits perfectly. Her and Brittany, they're locked in together, and it's fun to watch them play. They play with a lot of energy. They play with a lot of grit. It reminds me of how they played in Unrivaled. Marina's just like, she's a shooter. I mean, what can you say? And she defensively, she is awesome. Dangerous duo, Sykes and Mabry.
Fun time in Toronto, and even Portland. They got like a great atmosphere. I love like when there's like already a city that's passionate about women's sports, and it's just about like giving them the opportunity and like watching. Like I think constantly, I hate when it's like, oh, the women aren't as exciting. Like, are you watching the same product that I'm watching? Because like, okay, cool, the men can dunk, but like you now have like a shooter like Caitlin Clark making it from like the logo and Marina. Like, I mean, Katia and I went to Unrivaled and saw her score 48 points and had like a ridiculous, like the crowd was ridiculous. Like I was standing up exciting. She saw me, but like, it's exciting. You can't tell me it's not. You got to watch it like before you judge the product, right? Or what the athleticism's better. They're faster, stronger. Like you could just see it. It's like you gotta, and like if you're gonna watch, like you put it on TV, people watch. Like you gotta get it on that national television. We'll just like kind of touch on the couple of the other games. I'll kind of read the scores, and then we'll kind of go on to like just more about that expansion. I know Katia want to talk about the Valkyries a little bit, but you had the Sparks versus the Mystics. I also love that Erica Wheeler's having her time too. She had 21 points in that game. And then you have also Cameron Brink coming up with a big game with like 16 off the bench. Then you have the Lynx won over the Sky, 79-58. And you have like injuries with the Sky. Rakia is out, Vandersloot, Carrington, Dijonay, and then Gabriela Jaquez was out as well. So they're hurting there. So hopefully they can make a turnaround when they get healthier. And then the Dream versus Friar, like the Dream's continuing to dominate with Angel Reese at 18, 12, and 5, and 4 of the 5 starters in double figures for that game as well. And then the last touch on the games from yesterday was the Aces versus Valkyries. Becky Hammond got her 150th win, I saw. And then Asia being Asia, she's the 4-time MVP for a reason. 28 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. So she's a beast, one of my favorites, but she keeps dominating. And then, yeah, we'll move on. Like just the last, I think, for the breakdown we wanted to touch upon, or I wanted to touch upon was like just the expansion team, immediate impact. Like we have Portland and the Toronto Tempo just making immediate impact. And Katia, you wanted to talk touch upon the Valkyries and what you've read in the news lately about them as well.
So watching the Aces and the Valkyries game, I mean, both incredible teams. The Valkyries have been ranked with the highest evaluation in the entire WNBA league. I believe they're at like 1 billion or something, or like some crazy $1 million, 800 million, something like that. And you know, they're a team to look out for. I think just watching this game, you can see how the Aces kind of played at their own pace in the first quarter, the second, and they drilled the Valkyries by the third. And I think they defensively gotten better from what we saw in the Dallas game. The Aces are just hard to beat all around. I mean, defensively, offensively, it's really hard to guard Aisha Wilson. You kind of just pray and around her. I just love how they slowed the pace of the game. All in all, they wanted to make the Valks tired. They're a younger team. We do have some vets on there like Veronica Burton. We have Gabby Williams on there.
Kayla Thornton was out. She came back. Then you have Veronica Burton. That's always like a media impact. I believe she was 6th Woman of the Year last year. Again, we might have to fact check some of my facts here, but yeah, she's a dog too. And like Gabby Williams, she's one of my favorites. She just plays unbelievable defense. Obviously we have other stuff going on in our lives. But I caught some of the game, and she has some like unbelievable steals. She's always in there for every play.
Even
But
Janelle Saloon, I wasn't familiar with her game. She averages 13 points, but for this game for the Valkyries, she played 21 minutes, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. She shot 38.5% from the field, 100% of her free throws, but she was kind of cashing in on a lot of shots that she had there. So
and then, yeah, we'll just touch upon, I think I want to touch upon like the impact of like international players too, like with the, being on the expansion teams as well, but also like the CBA having like an immediate impact, like just like the agreement this year. Yeah, like just the immediate impact of like international players, like this is allowing, like the expansion teams is allowing more international players to come here and play. It reminds me a bit of the NWSL soccer league. Obviously I watch soccer too, but that is allowing like kind of the back and forth. Like we still have Americans going to play soccer overseas, but now here we now have 15 teams, where before you were limited roster spots to 12. It was like 144 teams, 144 spots between 12 teams, I believe. Now we have 3 more teams in the league. That's opening up another additional spots for 36 players to play. Quick math off the top of my head, hopefully that's right. But you have these great French players coming over. You know, you have Awa Fan that just got drafted. Like, it's just like such an exciting time. And like, that's what I like about the soccer league too, the NWSL. Like, you see all these international players coming over, you get to know them. And I'll admit, I'm not familiar with a lot of them because I watch more international soccer than basketball. But I think Gabby Williams and Marie, like, obviously I know them from being on the French team, but the French team did give the Americans a run for their money in the last Olympics. So that was a close game. So you see their impact already in the league. And then I guess that'll like close that up because we talked a lot about that impact and the expansion team, but we're going to move on to this like fun segment we're going to do. So it's called Jump Ball. So each week we're going to debate a topic. Basically, we're going to take one side or the other. So I'm going to be on one side of the coin and Katia is going to be on the other side. So this week's debate is Caitlin Clark should be the face of the league. Katia is going to argue no, and I'm going to argue yes, just because of the fact that I wore her shirt. And I'll let Katia go off. We're going to keep it to a minute each, 60 seconds to get your argument in.
I'll say Caitlin Clark was pushed on to the public, if you ask me, because I don't know. I think they just needed someone to be the newest face of the league. She's a great shooter. Obviously, everyone knows she's a logo 3-point shooter, but her character is one thing, it's questionable. And then 2, defensively, she's not that great. And I think there are way better players in the league than Caitlin Clark. But the hype around her was very interesting. And I don't want to take away from her accolades. I mean, she brought Iowa to where they are now, and you can see the difference that she's not in college anymore. But honestly, honestly, I think Paige Beckers should have been the face of the league. She's way more humble. I think she's a better all-around player than Caitlin Clark. And like I said, not to take away from Caitlin's accolades, but there she goes. But no, she doesn't need to be the face of the league. Let's move on. Let's move on from Caitlin Clark.
All right. Well, the argument wasn't that Paige Beckers or AZ Fudge to be the face of the league, right? I thought we were arguing about Caitlin Clark being, I guess she's picking other options. But here are my reasons why Caitlin Clark should still be the face of the league going forward. 1, talent. She's ridiculously talented. Logo 3s, like she brought up. She can hit from anywhere. Explosive, fast, her passing ability, yada, yada. We'll go on. Second is like her ability of being a role model. She's a good example for younger girls, like everywhere. I think she's been overall has had a clean image. I know there's been some issues lately, but I think that's just a sign of like she'll grow and mature. Yeah, so like you learn from your mistakes, right? She's passionate about the game, you can clearly tell, and that's where like her competitiveness that's where that comes in, and she argues and whatever. But definitely, I think she should still be the face of the league because she's just the audience she's drawn in. They're still with her, big fan base. I know it's like controversial at times, but people will get their act together, including her fan base will learn, hopefully. But yeah, no, I can argue either way, but this is just a fun little banter. But yeah, I agree with you with parts too, Katia. Like, I think, like Paige Backers is great example as well. AZ, like there's no problems off the court with them either. I think overall, like the league in general has great female female leaders in general for girls. I have two nieces, so that I love that the examples that they're setting for my nieces to follow. And they talk about, like, my older niece talks about AZ, and she has a picture with her from a game. So it's just, it could be anyone at this point. It's like, there's also a lot of pressure with being the face of the league. It doesn't just have to be her. I think Asia carries a lot of that pressure with her too. She's my girl too. I love Asia Wilson, but I think I think right now she's actually the face of the league because 4-time NBA MVP. So yeah, I mean, Caitlin obviously drew a big fan base with her, but I think only people are going to stay now, and it's not going to be because of her. It's going to be because they see all the other talent in the league, and I can argue this all day. Like, there are some talented players out there, and the fans are going to stay because of that, and not necessarily Caitlin. Caitlin might have got them here, but they're going to stay because of everyone else out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point because she did draw in a lot of people to watch women's basketball. But the more you learn about Caitlin, or the more you see her antics, it's kind of like questionable. But
yeah, she's got to grow up. I think it's like I'll tell a quick story. My mom could tell you. I used to throw the bat when I played softball growing up. Eventually, I stopped throwing the bat and matured. So it's like she's got to stop being like in the rough space. Because that's like not likable. I agree with you.
I know. I'm like, but anyone, to me, I'm like, anyone else will get a technical foul for doing that, and she doesn't. That's the craziest.
Yeah, I think the refs have to stop catering to her. I think she got away with a lot of stuff in college. I think they catered to her. Now it's like, girl, you got to grow up. And that's like, I'm sure that's what her coach is saying behind the scenes too. Like, it's becoming, the more people I talk to, right, it's becoming unlikable to like just keep like going at the refs after every call. You're gonna get bumped. You're gonna get hit into. I loved bumping. I played basketball. I loved hitting people or like giving them a shoulder. That's part of it. Like, you're not gonna get every foul call. So yeah, we'll stop with our jump balls going all along. But I will say, as long as she like kind of, buttons it up, and like a lot less with the antics, like you said, on the court, or being like being a baby about stuff, like I think we'll be good. And I think hopefully Stephanie White's having that conversation in the locker room with her, like, hey, you got to get it together, like, let's go. All right, a great jump ball segment. I can't wait to continue to debate you each week. So let's go on to the next. We're calling this the Sixth Woman of the Week segment. So each week we're going to break down a player that we thought made immediate impact or brought their A game, but like outside your typical superstar. So just like there's a Sixth Woman of the Year, we're going to do a Sixth Woman of the Week. All right, Katia, your pick. You're up.
All right, so my Sixth Woman of the Week is Portland Fire's Megan Gustafson. She's a center for the Portland Fire, and she used to play on Las Vegas Aces. I mean, if you watch their game against the Fever recently, I mean, they completely dominated. They exposed how the Fever lacked in their defense and what the Fever needs to work on. I mean, she basically killed it. She was on fire. I mean, scoring 22 points. You can't get any better than that. And one thing that stuck out to me and that touched my heart a lot was when she talked in her post interview. Her commentary was saying that some of us in the Portland Fire are players that are always overlooked and are not respected in basketball. And she kind of like broke down and kind of cried a little bit because basketball is a tough sport. I mean, you're kind of going out there every day, getting shoved around, working out, recovery, long hours away from your family, moving from city to city. And to just have her moment, to have her shine, I think that was like the highlight of the week for me. So yes, she's my Sixth Woman of the Week.
I love that pick, and it just shows like when a player is given an opportunity, they shine, or they seize it, and she's a great example. Love that my namesake pulled through this week. But my pick is Cameron Brink. I picked her because a couple of weeks back, like beginning of the season, Coach Roberts told her, kind of criticized Cameron in a press conference, saying that we needed her to produce. It says, he quote said, "We need Cam to produce. We need Cam to bring that defensive energy. We have so much confidence and belief in her. She's got to get out on the floor with some confidence and do what she's capable of doing, but we're going to need her. So, I mean, coaches' criticism in the press can go like one or two ways, right? It can either be a motivating factor for a player or it could work the opposite way. I mean, I've been an athlete for years. Sometimes you need a push from a coach, and this just proved to show this worked in the Sparks favor that she scored 16 points over the weekend, a couple blocks. So yeah, she just kind of turned it up a little bit, but yeah, she stepped it up, and like I'm sure Coach Roberts was happy with her after the game as well. They like definitely need her going forward. I think she's one of those players that's so athletic to me, like so much talent. Like she could have played volleyball. I think she also could have played volleyball. So you see like just so much athleticism that she's got to like tap into that potential and like go for it. And sometimes it's a mental thing that sometimes players, it just needs to click, and maybe that coach like calling her out in public, that's what she needed, and she showed up. So love that. And then we'll move on. We're gonna do like a little top 5 plays. One of the plays that came to mind for me was Maureen Johannes like over the back pass to JJ in the post, Jonquil Jones with the assist. And again, I kind of like that French connection again we're coming back to. Like there's so many talented French players. It's like unbelievable. And I'm kind of like excited for the next Olympics to see them duel. Kadi, what was your choice in one of the top 5s?
I just want to say that reminded me, and Sue Bird just talked about this. She said one of her most iconic moments was her like overhead pass, and she's like, I don't even know how I like did that. I just passed it, and they got like a layup. I forgot who scored the point, but so cool. And I would say one of my favorite plays was in the Valkyries Aces game. Like I said earlier, it was Caitlin Chen being guarded by 2 people and still shooting that 3 over both of their heads. I'm like, she was like too quick. She was too fast for y'all. That was one of my favorite plays of the week. So very cool to watch and fun.
Yeah, and then another play of mine, top 5, so we're at 3 right now, was Chelsea Gray's behind the back to Jackie Young in the Aces versus Wings game. I guess that was like a top highlight for them, but I just can't get over how like how much swag like Chelsea Gray has when she plays, like so much like not fire, I'm not looking for, but like pizzazz, I guess is the right word. Mm-hmm. Like she's just fun to watch, and like I feel like when I was growing up, I didn't really have that like someone to look up to like that played with that. It was like showy kind of like, you had the men like doing all that cool stuff, but now her behind the back to Jackie was just like so cool. I'm like, you're like the coolest cat out there. That's corny, but she's so cool to me. So
sometimes I try to find like, how do they know she's gonna pass it behind her or over her, or are they always just looking like Chelsea might do something like that? Like I don't know, but yeah, it's very cool that their dynamic works so well together that they can read if she's gonna do a pass like that. So she's very swaggy and very cool.
And then I guess like another top play that comes to mind, because we're almost at 4. We're at 4 right now, but I think just for like the story behind it was AZ Fudd's block on Brianna Stewart, because if I'm sure most of you know, I mean, Connie is going a little bit crazy over there because she's obsessed with AZ, but AZ Fudd has a dog, and her dog's name is Stewie, after Brianna Stewart. So for AZ to get the block on Stewie in the game the other day with the Liberty, I think was just, I'm sure that was like such a sweet moment for her. And then I was listening to her dad speak on her podcast about just how now she's playing against all those players she looked up to. So again, that's just like surreal, like kind of fun moment. But there's some games tonight for the Commissioner's Cup, and that's your in-season tournament, similar to, we don't want to mention the NBA, but they have an in-season tournament as well. This was started like a couple of years ago in 2021, just to kind of entice the players, get them more money. Obviously, like that was a factor as well. So Eastern Conference, they play within their conference. Western Conference, they play within their conference. Real quick, they play best record coming out of each conference, plays each other. Last year, the Fever won. Usually, it's kind of a good predictor of who's going to be in the playoffs or make a playoff run a deep playoff run. So you had the Fever making it pretty far last year, and almost like dethroning the Aces or whatever at one point. So this year, tonight, we have first two games coming, tipping off. We have the Wings versus Storm. Couple first round draft picks in Flage and Azies. And then you have the Lynx Mercury squaring off tonight. So then you see the Mercury struggling a little bit as of late. They lost to the Liberty twice. Lynx, I think, could be dangerous potentially going forward with like Olivia Miles, just like kind of she's a triple double threat every time on the floor pretty much. And then Courtney Williams, their dynamic. And yeah, Kadi, if you want to touch on those couple games or the games tomorrow, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Mercury have been losing by very, very small margins. I mean, 1 point, 2 point games. And, you know, they're kind of like a seasoned team. Like, they're they're stacked, too. I mean, we have AT, Duana, we have Kalia Copper. I mean, list goes on and on and on. They're very, very stacked. Another player to watch for Phoenix is Giovanna Nojic. She's one of the newest members of the team. She's averaging about 14 points a game. And if you see her shots, they're very, very deep. She adds a kind of layer to the team that I think is needed. So it's fun seeing her play, but I've been watching her recently, watching the Phoenix games. I think she could close that gap when Phoenix is down by 1 point, and it's just a matter of time of who's going to shoot the last point. She's someone to watch. The Lynx, again, like with Olivia Miles, I knew Olivia was going to come in and do her thing, but I was like worried of like what this team would look like without Nafisa Collier, and proved us wrong. Like, they've built such a great system around the people that they have, and that Olivia and Courtney duo is lethal, and they're someone to watch. I think they could make it to the playoffs. Olivia Miles is a rookie of the year to watch. I just mentioned the combo. Absolutely. And then another.
Is that going to be a
what?
Is that going to be a jump ball segment? Jump ball debate?
Yes,
oh no! Here we go.
Who's the contender for Rookie of the Year? If it's not Olivia Miles, I don't know. But I also want to say there are some rookies that are not new to basketball, but they're from overseas and they're playing in the W for the first time. So does that count as Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, so actually that does count. I'll credit Sue Bird on this. I learned a lot from her podcast the other day. So yeah, that is technically their rookie year. So you have Sight. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's on the Fire. She's a rookie, and there's Hollister on the Liberty. I apologize for mispronouncing names, but yeah, there's a couple against, again, French Connection. It's just, I guess this episode's French Connection, but good thing you're not, I wanted to just say this, good thing you're not wearing that AZ shirt, because you didn't mention her at all in the Rookie of the Year debate. I don't know.
I'm sorry, AZ. I was not gonna put her in.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's why she can't find the shirt too. I don't know.
And then moving on, we do have the Sky versus the Mystics coming up tomorrow. Chicago's been super plagued with injuries. Vandersloot, Rakia, Carrington, Dejanay, and it does affect the team dynamic, and we want to see like who can fill in those roles in the team. But it's kind of like a toss-up, you know, like it changes the dynamic of the team. So it's really rough to say what this game is going to look like. The Mystics, right now, their roster's stacked with a bunch of rookie players. Lauren Betts is on there, and was a contender for #1 draft pick, and I think she went number 3, if I'm not mistaken. But they're still youthful, they're fun, they're there, they're ready to learn. I love seeing her play with that team, with Shakira Austin, she's not a vet, but she's been in the league for some time now, so it's fun seeing their dynamic and seeing the young hoes just turn up. And like I mentioned,
I was waiting for that.
And seeing the young hoes.
They are young. Like, it is. I think Austin is like Shakira Austin's the oldest. I think
she's the oldest, and
6
she's
years.
Only
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, it's like crazy. I think it was like, what did I say? It was like 10 out of the 12 or 9 out of 12 players are like the rookie or their second year, which is crazy. So I think they have 6 draft picks. They had 6 draft picks or something. That's crazy. Again, I'll do a little fact check at the end, but yeah. I need to be fact checked. I'm throwing out these, but yeah, some exciting games tonight and tomorrow, and to start the Commissioner Cup. We'll break down like this whole week of games, like next week, not the whole week, but you know, some of the top games next week. And we'll move on, unless you get to move on, Katia, to the last segment. So the final segment here, we're calling it Outside the Paint. So it's going to be like just our take on something that's happening beyond basketball, because I think that's still important to highlight. It is WNBA talk, but I love to highlight other sports as well. So my Outside the Paint little tidbit this week is a shout out to Megan Grant on the UCLA softball team. Record 40 home runs for this year, and a little tie into basketball. She actually played basketball this season as well for UCLA. She did get in a game, so she was a little bit of a dual sport athlete this year. A little bit. She didn't play a lot, but she did get into a UCLA game, so that's fun. She wasn't there for the final game when they won, but she did end up going to their celebration, and I believe she gets like a ring for that too. But awesome with the softball. UCLA actually just lost yesterday to Texas Tech, but I just wanted to highlight Megan's unbelievable season. And then also, tying that in one more time, there is a professional women's softball league starting in a couple weeks. There will be 6 teams in that league and a New York team. So I'm excited to watch some softball. Again, women's sports is growing beyond even this podcast. So go out there and support your teams. It's going to be an Atlanta team, Chattanooga, Florida, 2 Florida teams, or 3 actually. I'm just looking at it here. Kansas City and New York. So New York's always got to represent, the tri-state area.
So my Outside the Paint is actually still in the paint a little bit.
All right, you got some tea?
Yes, I do have some tea. I wanted to highlight the newest women's basketball league called Upshot League. People are looking at it as a new G League for women's basketball. And I think it's cool that people that were either waived or not drafted or aren't in the W still get a chance to play professionally and not go overseas and stay home and play and make money. I think that's super exciting. We have the Jacksonville Waves, Savannah Steel, Greensboro Crew, Charlotte Crown, Upshot Baltimore, and Upshot Nashville. So it's very exciting to see the women's basketball teams expand, even in another league. Like we mentioned earlier, me and Megan went to Unrivaled. That was great, watching a different format of play, like 3-on-3. So I'm just very excited to see and follow Upshot even more. I haven't watched any of the games yet, but I know they kicked off, I think, like last week. But yeah, show some love if you can to Upshot League.
Yeah, show some love to all sports, all women's sports. And yeah, well, thank you all for joining us on our first podcast. Again, give us a chance. This is a learning experience. We're just excited to be here and start this together and have this conversation. So hopefully that came through our video screens and our mics, that we're excited to be here and be with all of you.
Yes, oh my God, thank you everyone so much for listening and watching us banter and go back and forth. We're so excited to start this new journey with our podcast, and everyone watches women's sports, so you should too, besties.
All right, besties, time to clock out. See you next time.